Libra, hello there, my beautiful friends. We're going to do your general tarot reading for early October 2024. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know I appreciate each and every single one of you. So let's get right down to business as always and start you off with an oracle card here, just so we could dip our toes in the energy and see what's happening for the lovely Libra collective. Hope you're all doing fabulous and fantastic, my friends. Let's get it going. My guides and spirit team, talk to me. What do we got for these beautiful Libras in their birthday season? Might I add, what energies, messages, insights can we have a little peek at? And yeah, we're just going to take a real quick look at this first card. Then we'll get into the full reading itself. At the very end, I'll pull you a bonus card from the Shadowland Tarot just to see what might be in the shadows or what shadow work you can lean into, which is always interesting. But let's get it going here. Let's rock and see what we got for Libra in early October. And yeah, while we get this first card out, I just want to once again wish you all a very happy birthday from me to you. I really hope you're having a fantastic one, whether it's just passed or whether it's still coming up. Libra season is always a beautiful time of year, so enjoy it, my friends. Okay, quick, nice. Love this. This is a great way to start. So this tells me that even if we do have some rough energies within the reading itself, there's a lot of abundance and potential with this very first card. Even though it's an oracle deck, I do link it to Empress energy, which is one of the cards I give to you. But before we fully dive into that, if you're new here, I'll be speaking about the October subscriber surprise towards the end, so you might want to check that out. And also, if you could kindly illuminate that like button by tapping it right on its third eye, you know, I'd greatly appreciate it. But enough of the promo, into the reading. Let's talk about this card a little bit. So again, I already said I do link this to Empress type energy. We see this lovely lady. She is in the woods amongst the flora and fauna. We have the animals and the plants, and she has that tree of life tattooed on her back. She looks super happy. So when I see this, I think of fruitfulness and abundance, fertility, blessings. This is really a fantastic energy to really take a look at. Now, again, I always mention that we're just looking at little undertones of the energy. So if we do have some rough things within the reading itself, this is a silver lining. But at the same time, this card represents a lot of massive potential. Now, for a portion of you, this could represent a mother figure coming to mind in this time. It could represent a Taurus that you're connected to, or even another Libra. But the big thing I always think about her is blessings. Okay, cup runneth over. So I feel like it's very important for a lot of Libras, regardless of what you're going through, to keep an abundance mindset when she shows up in the front end. Not a mindset of lack, if that makes sense. So we're just going to leave her right there. Let's get into tarot. And I always say the first card, yeah, it doesn't make or break the reading. It's just a little footnote for us. So let's get you 3 cards in the upright. Then we'll get into that intuitive juiciness. Shuffle it up one time here for the lovely Libras in their birthday season. What do we got? My guides, talk to me. And while we get this deck shuffled up and ready to go, let's talk about last week's reading. It was titled An Unexpected Talk. Now, for a big chunk of you, if that hasn't happened yet, keep your head on a swivel, because these energies can bleed over for a couple weeks. So you might be having conversations you weren't expecting to have. You might be hearing from people you weren't expecting to hear from. It all really depends. But let's see what shows up for you this week. As you know, energy is very fluid. It's never set in stone. So when we take this, how it hits for you, because we could be seeing your vibe or someone that you're linked to. Let's get it going. 3 cards for my lovely Libras. What's happening in their birthday season? What's going on for my good friends? Oh, quick. 6 of Cups. Okay, makes sense to do a little reminiscing around birthday season, right? 6 of Cups is all about that reminiscing of birthdays past. We'll talk about that a little more. Okay, the 6 of Cups is usually a nice energy. Let's get a couple more. Let's get a couple more here. Thank you. Okay, the Fool card, big Aries energy. I like this, and that is your zodiacal opposite. And FYI, for anyone new here, I am an Aries, so I have much love for the Libras. Right, we're like zodiacal twins. Let's get one more. Not identical, right? Like they want similar things, but they approach it in different ways. Okay, 4 of Swords. So it's intriguing that we have like a card of the past, a card moving into future, and we also have a card at rest. So I feel like there is going to be a lot of nuance to this week's reading, although I am feeling cautiously optimistic. That's one thing I will say. So let's go through. I'll give you some of the classical meanings and archetypes. Then we'll get into that juicy, intuitive stuff. But at first glance, you know I always like to look at the elements first. And we have a nice, even distribution. We have some water. We have some fire. We have some air. Now, they do mix and match and work against each other in a lot of different ways. But to me, this could represent different situations, different aspects of the same thing, because there are a couple of energies that are somewhat at odds, especially here on the back end. So I think there's going to be a lot of nuance to this reading. So let's go through and start building this out. Position number 1, the 6 of Cups. So you see this little image here. We got the people, they're sharing cups with each other. To me, it's a big card of history. It's a card of the past. So once again, you might be doing a lot of reminiscing. This could represent an individual that you have a lot of history with, someone that you have a lot of memories with. It could just represent history in general. Okay, so whether you're going through something right now that you've gone through before, or something could reemerge in this time where you've gone through a similar thing before, it makes sense. It's eclipse season as well, and all that stuff should be hitting people at Libra placements extra hard. So it makes sense that we're seeing the 6 of Cups. It could also represent soul ties, partnerships, people that we care dearly for. In its positive sense, I really love it. Now, in its challenging sense, because all cards have positive and challenge, the 6 of Cups could represent a rough history, painful memories, things that you don't really want to talk to. Sometimes it could represent someone that you care for, but there might be a separation for whatever reason. So we'll look at this. Again, I'm not going to label it one or the other just yet, but again, it could either represent themes, so you might be reliving certain themes in this time. Moving to the center, we have a card of the future, new beginnings. We have the Fool card. So as I already mentioned, this card, one of my favorites, is linked to the Aries collective. And why does it link to us Aries people? It's the first of the major arcana, just like Aries is the first of the zodiac signs. This is a card about initiating things, getting things moving, starting them. This is a huge action card. Now, it could represent new. It could represent new journeys, new cycles, new adventures that you might be going on. This is a jovial, happy type of energy. And that's the one thing I'm really liking about the front end of this spread, the 6 of Cups and the Fool. They're lighthearted. They're good. So if you are going through a time where things feel a little bit heavy, I would expect that energy to start lightening up already. Now, although this is a good thing for new adventures and such, the Fool card does have challenges of its own. This card could be very spontaneous. This card could stumble into situations that it wasn't expecting to. So again, this card, as with all fire, could be unpredictable. It could be surprising, which is a theme I've been seeing for you for a couple weeks. So it's important to be cautious. Whatever it is you're doing, weigh the options, which Libras are known for, right? Like weighing situations, like, is this balanced? Is it not? Because when the Fool card is here, sometimes it could represent taking the wrong step, but we're not going to fully go that route just yet, because it could be very good. Now, moving to the back end, we have the complete opposite of this Fool. We have the 4 of Swords, whereas this one was all about movement and action and blasting off with that fiery energy. This 4 of Swords isn't really going anywhere. It is sword energy, which is air, which is your element. You are comfortable with this. There might be certain things you're mulling over and thinking about quite a bit when this is here. It's give me time to think type of energy when I see it. So for a portion of you, whether it's something you need to plan out, something you need to mull over a little bit, because we have action, we have thinking. So there's like something here about that little difference of energy that we're picking up. Now, the 4 of Swords, it could represent things that are at a halt. It could represent things that are at rest. It could literally represent your rest too. So if you've been feeling zapped, to make sure you're getting proper recuperation. There could be certain things that you're healing from, mentally, emotionally, physically. It all really depends. But the 4 of Swords isn't really budging, right? Now, it can be a very spiritual card. It does link to meditation and spiritual work, but at the same time, it's not really budging. And it's in its roughest sense, in its challenge, it could represent delays. It could represent problems, speed bumps, roadblocks, you name it. So it's like we have these interesting energies that we need to balance off here. So I want to dive deeper in all of it, Libra. Let's jump in and clarify. Okay, let's get a good shuffle here for you. See what's happening. What do we got for the lovely Libras? And yes, this is where I go intuitive with the message, which means I just tell you how it feels to me. So feel free to do further research or rely on your base knowledge of tarot, because as you know, every single reading is about the reader's interpretation, and I'm just giving you mine. Let's go in on that 6 of Cups. And yes, if you're a reader yourself, please feel free to play along. That's why the box is here. If you're feeling any messages you want to give to Libra, you could put it down in the comments. Don't mind at all. Okay, 6 of Cups time. What's happening here? What's this reminiscent energy? Okay, 10 of Pentacles. Okay, so something that you might feel is over might not be quite over just yet. That's very peculiar type of energy here. I have the Ten of Pentacles in reverse. Now, when I see the Ten of Pentacles in reverse, it does talk about things that may have closed out, may have ended, and it does also represent shakeups. It's a shakeup type of energy in its reverse form. For a portion of you, watch out with issues between you and family or people that you were very close with when we have these two cards aligning, okay? Because there might be certain situations that deal with the home, situations that deal with the family. But aside from that, usually this is a card of leveling up. Usually this is a card of stability. When we see it in reverse, this energy is shaking up. So again, I feel on an intuitive sense, it's two main things. Either something you thought like, all right, well, that's done and over, or that's complete, might not be so complete just yet. For a portion of you, I could possibly see a cycle returning as well. And I've been seeing that for different signs as well in recent weeks. And I feel like you're next up to bat, whether it's a situation that you need to check back on, whether it's even an individual, or to me, it's like, okay, I've done something similar before, or I'm familiar with this. There's a certain familiarity with it. So again, those are the big vibes I'm picking up here, aside from the whole family and friends thing. Just there could be things reemerging or returning. So let's keep moving. We're not going to really pound that message home too much. Try not to get too glum. That's another thing. When I see the Six of Cups and the Ten of Pentacles in reverse, just try not to dwell on past memories that are too tough on you. Okay, that's another thing I'm picking up, because that might not put you in the nicest place. Let's keep moving on. Let's see why the Fool is here, because now we have the past. Now let's see how the action's moving forward. So why is the Fool here? Thank you. Judgment in reverse, same exact thing. Same exact thing. So I do feel it ties in with a lot of the astrology that's going on, and I'm not going to go into all the fine detail about everything that's happening astrologically right now, but when I see Judgment in reverse, that is also a clear-cut card of things returning. Okay, but this one is much faster, where like one energy is making its way slowly. It's like a slow emergence. This one is very sudden, very explosive. Okay, especially with Judgment in reverse. Now, there's angelic energy around here as well, but the fact that I'm seeing two alignments of things re-emerging, resurfacing, there could be various things in this time, not just one, not just a person, not just the situation. It might be various things where it's like, okay, I need to revisit this. Do I need to do it different this time? How should I approach this? Now could be a time to take note of things that you've been through and how you handled them, because it's very possible that you could see things that rhyme. And I've used that little phrase that goes around sometimes, like the past and future rhyme. And that's kind of like what I'm picking up here. It might not be the same exact thing that you're going to experience, but there's a similarity to it. It's like a cycle. Okay, so this return is much more explosive with Judgment in reverse. Okay, so one is making its way slowly, the other one is making its way quick. Okay, like with the Fool, this is a lot of action and it's heavy. Okay, but again, although it's a heavy, powerful energy, it doesn't feel necessarily bad to me. It doesn't. Like, there might be good results that can come from this. So let's go in on that Four of Swords. Then we'll do a quick little recap before we get into the shadow. So why is that Four of Swords in the mix? Okay, it could be very important in this time not to make same mistakes that you've made in the past as well. Again, no judgment here. I'm not coming at anybody sideways, but like with all the stuff I'm seeing here, like, we're all human. We all make mistakes from time to time. Could be very important that you don't repeat those in this time. That's only for a few of you, I'm sure. But let's see what's up with that Four of Swords. Why is the Four of Swords here? I mean, and if this stuff isn't happening in the physical, this could be happening like in the mental or even the astral, where things are just being revisited. There we go. We have the Death card. Now, don't get nervous about that when I see the Death card. Now, for a portion of you, yeah, there could be a certain cycle that's closing out. And I do feel it's going to rhyme with things that you've already dealt with. Death card isn't something that's scary. I know, like, we see it in movies and pop culture. Whenever there's a tarot reader, boom, they throw out the Death card. When I see the Four of Swords and the Death card, again, there is this link to the past that we are picking up. There's also Scorpio season coming up, and that's Scorpio's card. So the Four of Swords with the Death card, for a portion of you, you might just let something be. Okay, so even though this energy is resurfacing, returning, it's like, okay, well, there's not much I can do about it. I'm just going to let that be for now. Like, I'm not going to kick the hornet's nest. I'm not going to rile things up. So there's a possibility for that energy as well. Okay, like even if these energies do reemerge, it's kind of hands off. Like, okay, I'm going to let it play out. But again, with the Four of Swords and death, I do feel like there could be a certain cycle, because this is karmic. This is karmic. This is karmic. Even the Fool, to a certain extent, since it's a beginning. So for a portion of you, there could be a karmic cycle ending, a big one. Okay, and nothing to be nervous about, again. But I just feel like it's all interwoven for some reason. This is all interwoven. So let's go through and do a quick recap. And you're not the only one that's had this card, this alignment. I feel like I've seen it for other signs this week as well. Let's go through before the shadow. Position number one, we have the Six of Cups with the Ten of Pentacles in reverse. And I did say something that you thought was over might not actually be. And I did say it could be something working its way back around, like slowly. It's like not something that happens every day or even every month. So there could be a return of something that's coming back slowly, slow and steady. Moving to the center, much quicker, much faster, explosive, so to speak. Full card with Judgment in reverse, another thing returning. So again, there could be various things and situations that are going to rhyme with situations that you've dealt with in the past. Watch out for making mistakes of the past as well in this time. But again, they don't feel bad to me. To me, it's just more like, okay, you might have to revisit things in this time, which, I mean, that doesn't sound happy birthday to me. It is your birthday season. You're supposed to be celebrating, not doing deep shadow work. On the back end, we have the Four of Swords with the Death card in the upright. A lot of you could be on the precipice of a big karmic change or ending. There could be a cycle that's closing out for you, which makes sense with all the things happening astrologically and with transits and stuff that's happening. There could also be a situation where you're very hands-off about it, where you're just like, you know what? It is what it is, or I'm going to see how it turns out. I'm not going to kick the hornet's nest. So do with that information what you will. Let's get into the shadow card. Please, if you want to look into it further, you could take a screenshot. Let's see what we have in the shadows, though, Libra. What is happening, please? And yes, I always like to pull one shadow card at the very end, just to see whether it's something within you or something you don't quite see. Shadow cards don't always have to be a challenge. They could be a good thing. So let's get you one. Oh, and yes, if you made it to this point in the reading, please feel free to check out channel memberships. I'll put a link for it in the comments below. It's a beautiful way to support the channel, and I have much love for all my channel members. Okay, let's get this shadow card out. Quick, very first shuffle it popped out for you. Okay, the Six of Pentacles. Okay. I generally like the Six of Pentacles because it is one of the cards that I do link to Libra. And it is one of my cards of gift giving. And I always say it often shows up for people's readings in their birthday season. So when we see this in the shadows, some of you might have a big birthday surprise coming down the pipeline for you. Now, the Six of Pentacles to me is a card of giving. It's also a card of balance. So for a lot of you, you might just be in that place with certain situations where you're like, okay, well, what's right? What's fair? How is this going to work? Kicking ideas back around, back and forth, back and forth. That could be a big thing here with the Six of Pentacles. Not trying to overdo something, but seeing how it will play out. That's a big thing here. But there is also an energy of needing to understand if something is fair or not. Okay, because remember, this is one of your cards. It is also a karmic card, so it links in with the big theme of the reading. If you feel like something's off balance or it's just askew for whatever reason, then maybe that hands-off approach is the right one. Just watch how much energy you give when this card shows up. So Libra, that's what I have for you this week, my beautiful friends. Don't click away just yet, though. I'm going to give you the details of the October subscriber surprise. If you would like to book a personal reading with me, you can check out my digital calendar for the month of October at my website, mastermetaphysics.com. But for the October subscriber surprise, I'm giving away 2 copies of one of my favorite decks, the Tarot of the Owls. So if you'd like to get your name in for that, it's 2 simple things, as always, my friends. First, you must be subscribed. Second, let me know down in the comments, hypothetically, if you had to get a tattoo of a tarot card, which one would you choose and why? You'll be entered to win, and at the end of the month, the winners will be announced in my community tab. As always, my friends, much love. I'll see you again soon.